I think all our days began either turning on the TV or listening to the radio or someone we know calling us and saying, have you seen what's happening? And then trying to find out what the town thought was appropriate to do about the situation. And that's really been the defining moment for us.
I was very disappointed that they were canceled. I said to myself immediately, it's an honor just to be evacuated.
I was just trying to take the heat off you, Bill, and give America someone else to be mad at.
Well, thank you, but
you can't throw a party that people don't want to come to. And I think a lot of people woke up in the morning, they turned on the TV, and they saw that we were at war.
America Strikes Back.
If there were something to happen again, do you see yourself canceling this again for good, or no matter what happens, this show will go on?
Our plan on November 4th is to give the Emmys away one way or the other, and so the show is going on, and that's our plan, and I guess if I have to show up on the stage and hand them out myself, I'll do that.
Bryce, I don't know if you're a baseball fan, but you know that there is a risk here. The World Series will be going on at that time. If there is a seventh game needed between whichever teams are playing, it'll happen on that same night. It'll happen on Fox, and you're going to be broadcast on CBS, and those two programs could bump into each other. How worried about that are you?
I'm not a CBS programmer, but I'll tell you something, Matt. It seems to me that if what happens on November 4th, Sunday night, is that the World Series is broadcast live on one network and the Emmy Awards is broadcast live on another network, that is a powerful symbol to all the world and especially to Americans here at home that things are going on the way they're supposed to be going on, because things are still happening around here. And so I would look at that as a good and positive thing instead of a negative.
Do you feel something of a deadline pressure? We need to get this done.
I do feel some deadline pressure. I feel that there's a little fatigue. I'm certainly fatigued by the whole affair, and I'm sure people like yourselves who cover this are somewhat fatigued. We need to make a decision sooner than later. And for 52 years, the Emmy Awards have been given out, so it seems kind of strange that on the 53rd year we can't figure out how to do it. So in the interest of going on, we're going on.
This time you're going forward, but with some changes. Let's talk about those changes, primarily security. What's changed?
Well, security has always been job one for us, and if you talk about heightened states of alert, we've been on a heightened state of alert from the very beginning, and we've brought significant resources to bear on the Schubert Theater, which is a different challenge from the last place we were at, the Shrine. But we think that we are providing the level of security that you might expect at a presidential visit. So when you bring these resources to a single location at a single date, you can make a very big impact, and I think we have.
What is the mood inside and everywhere around? I mean, it's gone through so many changes.
We have gone through a lot of changes. I think that the thing that's happened in America, as well as here on this telecast in a smaller sense, is that no one takes anything for granted anymore. So I think that we're all really happy to be experiencing this opportunity, really, to share this event with America and with the entertainment industry. It's really kind of a nice moment.
Live from the Schubert Theater in Los Angeles, it's the 53rd Annual Prime Time Emmy Awards.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Academy's Chairman and CEO, Bryce Zabel.
For allowing this show to go on by your presence here tonight. After the September 11th atrocities, this telecast was twice postponed. The Academy did get a lot of advice after that, some of it saying we should just forget about it, try again next year. It's true that an award show and virtually everything else you can think of seems insignificant compared to what happened on that awful day. That wasn't the issue, though. This is. Terrorism doesn't stop with shattered glass and shattered lives. It aims to crush the spirit of the survivors. To have given up would have been more than a postponement or a cancellation. It would have been a defeat. That's because 52 years previously, through war and peace, through assassinations and civil unrest, the Emmys have been awarded on television. Like baseball and Broadway, we are an American tradition. Many millions of viewers from more than 50 different nations are watching tonight, and they see us exercising our right to assemble and proclaiming that fundamental ideal that inspires all artists, freedom of expression.
How do you see the role that Hollywood will play in this war on terrorism?
Well, Wolf, I was at that first meeting a few weeks ago, and I think there was some frustration in that there was a desire to feel more of a sense of whatever the mission was going to be, whatever the specifics would be. So we look forward to hearing from Karl Rove today about some of his thoughts. I think actually a lot of what we're talking about is going to be driven by the spirit of voluntarism. You probably know I've just gotten through staging the Emmys after 3 tries. We opened up the Emmys with a trumpeter playing God Bless America and the American flag. Karl Rove or Mark here didn't call us and ask us to do that. We did that because we thought it was the appropriate choice. So I think we'll be talking about some of the things that might work and might not work for the various parties.
Mr. Zabel, assuming that the creative community in Hollywood is not going to change American policies, to which much of the Muslim world may object, is it appropriate, do you think, for the Hollywood community to say, gee, we better watch what we're writing here and saying, we better watch who we're casting as villains, because it may have a really bad impact on the rest of the world?
I'm not sure that that's necessary, and I'm not sure that that's what's being asked. I think that artists need to pursue creativity as they always have. That's one of the great American freedoms that we want to show the rest of the world. The larger issue, though, is what you raised. Every day, the American popular culture does send certain messages out to the rest of the world. That's right and proper, I think, because that's just what our artistic output is. The question is, are there other things that might be entertained at this point? And I would mention that there probably are. There are probably shows that have yet to get off the ground. There are probably episodes being written for a television series that you'll be seeing in the next few months that reflect some of these values. And there are probably all kinds of ancillary things from, there might be patriotic messages, I would imagine, before a movie that might end up being translated into other languages and broadcast around the world. It's hard to say right now, but I think that what is not being put on the table by the government, as I understand it, is any form of censorship. I think they're really trying to start a dialogue to just see what we're up to. Good morning, everyone. Usually the only time people in Southern California get up this early is for an earthquake, so we certainly do appreciate all of you making the effort to be here to join us at this time. I'm Bryce Zabel, the chairman of the board of the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. To present the nominees for the 54th Annual Primetime Emmy Awards, I'm pleased to introduce 3-time Emmy nominee Laura Innes from ER and Emmy winner Eric McCormick from Will and Grace. Good morning. That concludes our nomination ceremonies today. We want to thank you for coming here this morning. Let me also extend our congratulations to all our nominees and ask you to be sure to join us on Sunday, September 22nd, when the Primetime Emmy Awards will be presented on NBC. No cancellations. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Now give us your review.
Well, let me give you Conan's review. I just talked to Conan backstage, and right before I went on, and he said, this is really going well. And he said that he had tried to front load as much as he could to the beginning of the show so that people would realize and kind of relax. I think that's happened. I think the audience is into it, and I think it's a heck of a good show.
So the review you would give Conan O'Brien then is?
I give him 2 thumbs up, I guess, and I give the show the same. I couldn't be happier. I mean, to look at a show that's happening when it's supposed to be happening, in the place that we said it would happen, is wonderful news. And when Conan and you got the Osbournes, you got Tom Hanks. I'm sitting next to Steven Spielberg. What kind of star power do we have here?
You know what? I think you should be able to sit wherever you want because you're like the guy.
Okay, well, I'm sitting next to Steven Spielberg. I mean, it's so great to have everyone here covering us and giving us this kind of publicity because, this is television's greatest night out.
Well, as we said, color was on the red carpet, smiles were everywhere. This is how it should be.
Well, somebody asked me, they said, well, what was your first impression when you got out and got on the red carpet? I said, it was sound. I was hearing fans yelling because you'll remember last year we were not allowed to have the fans there because of the security concerns. So this year we were able to bring them back in and let them be part of the party, and I thought that was really terrific.
Hey, can you get me Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston? I'd like to get them back.
I just talked to them back. I had a shrimp next to Brad Pitt. I told both of them, thank you for showing up to do the whole thing with the Friends cast, but for Brad to be part of television when he doesn't have to be, but it proves that it's fun to be in TV and it's important to be in TV. He made a really profound statement there.
I agree.
And they were funny as could be in the opening thing with Conan, which was just great, I thought.
Well, it's a great night. Thank you so much. And again, we appreciate everything.
You got it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Academy's chairman and CEO, Bryce Zabel.